Scuffles have broken out between Greek police and American peace activists across from the U.S. Embassy in Athens. The activists were protesting Washington's efforts to hamper their trip to Gaza.
Palestine! Free! Free! Palestine! Free! Palestine! Free! Palestine! Free! Palestine!
We're trying to put pressure on our government and say you're supposed to be protecting us, American citizens, and not the government of Israel. And that you should be pressuring Israel to say, let this flotilla leave Greece and let this flotilla arrive in Gaza, deliver the letters that we've brought for the people there, and not be obstructed by the Israeli military.
The activists say the U.S. should defend its citizens' rights against Israel's pressure. They try to stage a sit-in in front of the U.S. Embassy after it failed to meet with the U.S. ambassador to Greece. But the activists were dispersed after some minor scuffles with the police. The activists, who are aiming to sail to Gaza, showed their boat to the media on Thursday, this to demonstrate the humanitarian nature of their mission. On the phone joining me is now Ken Myers, a U.S. peace activist who is now in Athens. Ken Myers, if you could tell us about I wonder if you were there among the activists in front of the U.S. Embassy protesting.
Yes, I was. Yes,
so
I was
could you
there.
tell us more about that and also elaborate on in what ways is Washington hampering your activity, flotilla heading to Gaza?
Okay, first about the demonstration itself. There were a couple of dozen of us who were going to be passengers to Gaza who gathered a block from the embassy where we were joined by members of various nationalities, including a member of the European Parliament. I believe there was a member of the Spanish Parliament as well as the French Parliament there. We gathered, went over to the embassy, got out our signs, Free Gaza, Let Freedom Ring, and so forth. And you could hear the chants on that excerpt that you played a moment ago. And we were joined a little bit later by a sizable delegation from the French boat that's going to Gaza. And we greeted them by singing the Marseillaise with them. It was very spirited, very joyous, and very nonviolent. The Greek police gradually increased pressure, at first just asking us politely to move across the street, and then adding a little bit more pressure. Ironically, in order to enable us to cross the street, they had blocked off one lane of traffic, or actually all the lanes of traffic going in one direction. And we moved out into the street and sat down. And we stayed seated there for a while, chanting and so forth and waving our signs. And eventually they were on the verge of arresting us when one of our leaders said, "This is not a day for civil disobedience." So we got up and very gradually moved across the street.
Okay,
There
Mr.
was
Mayor,
never
did
any
you,
violence.
sorry to interrupt, did you finally manage to see the U.S. ambassador there?
We did not see the ambassador today. A few days ago, we spent over an hour with consular officials in the embassy. We did not get to see the ambassador today.
So what is your expectation
wasn't
of Washington? What did you want? What message did you want to convey to the embassy officials? What do you expect of Washington to do for you?
Well, what we expect the Washington to do for us is to reverse the statements they've said in the past, essentially giving Israel a green light to attack this nonviolent task force with violence. They have said that we are the provocateurs. We don't feel that we're the provocateurs. We feel that the unjust treatment of Palestinians, and particularly Gazans, are the provocation. The European Parliament has declared that the blockade is illegal. Most of the nations in the UN declared that the blockade is illegal, and we feel that we should have rights to access Gaza by sea. And this is a nonviolent attempt to demonstrate the injustice that the Israelis are inflicting on the Palestinians in general and Gazans in particular.
And Mr. Mayor, if you could tell us about the pressures that you're facing on the side of Israel.
Well, ever since we got here, there have been delaying tactics to keep the boats. You know, there are are 10 or 11 boats in this international flotilla, and all of them have been getting pressure in one way or another. One boat was sabotaged, its propeller shaft was bent. Another boat, the Irish boat, was more recently sabotaged. Mostly it's been paperwork that's been blocking us. There was a complaint lodged by an Israeli law group in Tel Aviv, a complaint that said we weren't seaworthy. Of course, no one from that group had ever been on board our ship to see if we were seaworthy or not. But that put the wheels in motion with the Greek government to demand inspection of the boat, which they did several days ago. We have yet to receive the inspection report. And so it's been one delaying tactic after another.
So, Mr. Mayers, with all the circumstances you just mentioned, with the pressure, with the delaying tactic, as you call it, when do you think the flotilla will be setting off for Gaza?
We really don't know. We're going to set off as soon as we get a chance to set off, but we don't know when that's likely to be at this point. But we're hanging in there and doing whatever we can, such as going to the American embassy today. And of course, 4th of July is coming up on Monday, and one of the things that one of the signs of the demonstration said it's time for the United States to declare its independence from Israel.
Right. Many thanks for that, Mr. Ken Mayers, U.S. peace activist.